Hi ladies and gents, it's Attila coming to you with just a quick, sorry about that, just show and tell on some of the crafts that I actually used to do and have started back up again. So junk journaling is sort of my main focus, but with the additional time that I have on my hands, I'm putting it to use. So, as we say, the little nickname Jill of all trades, I've got my many fingers in many pies, from creating pallet furniture to home decor, farmhouse home decor, junk journals, mini albums, the list goes on. So I'm pretty proud of these, so I wanted to actually share them. And as the people who used to subscribe to my channel many years ago sort of know, I'm a pretty reserved, quiet type person, and I very rarely show my craftiness off because just low confidence and self-esteem, and that's all. That's also attributed to the Facebook and YouTube haters. For some reason, many of us get attacked, and people can be very judgmental. So without further ado, and not to bore you, I'll get on with it. These are actually made out of MDF. Now, I've got a scroll saw, so I cut out the dress form shape, if you can imagine the dress form shape there, and I cover it with wallpaper and just make the extra feet, so you just glue them on with a really strong wood glue. And this is just made from an old pillow, and just with the flat back pearls that we put on the little rosettes all the way down. This is also part of a doily, and I have some beaded trim that I've just wrapped it around various parts of the dress. So this is the back side, and I've just put a little bow and another flat back pearl. You can see the wallpaper there. Now, with the wallpaper being used on this, I've found many uses in my junk journaling to use, you know, the floral wallpaper sample books. So, you know, they've become junk journal pages. This is a Ruffle Trim that I've put around the skirt, and there's I am roses, little rosettes and little bud rosettes that I've actually grouped there and just made a little dangle. Now that was actually from an earring, I believe, you know, when you're breaking jewellery down. So, and just some lace trim, and I think they call it Kiperi lace, and these are from the same thing, Wild Orchid Crafts or I Am Roses, and the lace just made the bodice. I cut a separate piece from there and created like a choker. Now, I love creating chokers and making my own chokers, so everyone has got a choker in it, and that's another flower there. So that's one. Now this video might go for a while because there's quite a few. I'm pretty proud of them. So this is another one. It's just got 3 feet because it was sturdy enough to stand strong. I don't know whether I'll put another one on there, but it's just got a sequence trim around it, and just with some tiny little flowerets just on each corner there. Once again, it's covered with wallpaper and just painted on the back. So on the back side, we just have some black lace and a rosette. That's actually handmade, so just you get a bit of silk ribbon and you can create your own rosettes. This apricot, the apricot part is from a skirt I took down, and on the bottom I've just, as you can see, just shredded it to sort of give it a bit of a dangle and just did it in a layering with the lace. This is some antique lace from a top. We used to go to the RSPCA and used to be able to get $5 a bag, and we all know that when we're rolling clothing up you can fit more in your suitcase, so I used to roll as much as I could. You know, a lot of laces, a lot of sequins, clothing, crocheted tops and things like that. You can get creative with it and make those medallions out of the crochet. They're just little flowers I actually singly took down and then just painted them there. That's another a resin flower. As you can see also, I've just created the bodice out of the lace out there, and once again we have the little choker and just a satin flower with a diamante in the middle. So that's the second one, and I think she turned out pretty cute. So peach and black, you know, pink and black, peach and black, quite pretty. So, and the third one's a Pincushion, and I've made several of these. Now, when you set her down on the bench, that's what she looks like. And you just sort of create, this actually was on a stand, so I took it off the stand to pack it, and I've actually unpacked it to show. So you just get a small little candle holder, and you just sit it on the candle holder so she can sit up like that. So she's just a dress form pincushion, and that was made with doilies. So there's one doily here that goes all the way around the base, and then another doily to create around the bodice, and just a bow there, a flower there, a little, I think that was from an earring, you know, those ones that you clip on, and I've created the straps down the back to make it look like an apron. And this is actually a bed sheet, and did the same thing with the flowers down there. Now what I normally do is take them all apart and then fluff them up and then put them down. So that's that particular one. So these are great sellers, and I've made several different types. And when you think of bed sheeting, and I do have the pattern in PDF if anyone's interested in creating the pincushions. You know, they're quite effective, and you don't need much material for them. If you've got any old cushions or pillows that you're taking down, keep the filling, the stuffing. Yeah, so that's the third one. The fourth one, okay, the fourth one is another made out of the timber. Once again, I think this is wallpaper as well. Yep, so there's wallpaper there. Now that's got the 4 legs, and that's just some very fine tulle. It's not the stiff tulle, and this is from a dress I had, and then we've got the rosettes all the way right around, so you know, so she looks quite pretty there. So then it sort of, it tapers out around there. The trim is actually from a friend of mine who owns a wedding dress shop where they make wedding dresses, and this was just leftovers, and it goes all the way around the back, and just put a black bow, and it has some silver trim to complement the material because there's a silvery thread through it all. This is some just some flat back trim of some sort, and once again I created the choker, and then the bodice. And the little hat, I made the disc out of the same wallpaper that I actually covered the dress part in. I don't know if you can see that. So the train goes around there, so it's the choker there. And just use some feathers, some little flat back, not flat back, the rose trim, and then just put another thing. These were just flower petals that I just put a texture to it on the end, so it actually creeped in and sort of bled into the petal. So that was just to make a little hat on the side. So I thought that was quite effective. So it's just you know, material that you get. And with the bodice there, I did actually create a bit of a bust to it so that it wasn't flat against the MDF. Now I've got a scroll saw and I love using it, so I cut many of the dress forms out, and I will be starting that back up. So she's quite a pretty one too, in black and white. Okay, here we go. Yeah, sorry about that, chesty. We're getting a lot of cold weather coming in, and yeah, it's that time of the year where you get a bit chesty. Now this is like a French Parisian one, and once again this is actually a dress form I made out of paper mache and covered it with paper napkins. And so there you can see underneath there, now this red tulle is actually quite stiff, so that's why it creates the effect, you know, and it sits there on the bench. So when you put it on a stand, it actually flares out. So that's just some satin that I found at an op shop. And once again, we've got the black rosette trim all the way around. And this was just some lace I had, I'm not quite sure what you call that trim. And I had some other lace that I put around, totally right around the base, around her waistline, and carried it down the middle and then carried it around the base. Now it's also got a black rosette flower there. This part up here was the net stockings that you can get. I just thought it looked really great on that because you can see the tissue paper coming through that, and then put another large rosette around there plus another rosette there. This is a little cabochon that I have. Once again, we've got the choker. So, and just made a small disc and covered it with the napkin, the tissue napkin, and it's got a French Parisian theme. And just did some feathers, and you just curl the feathers up. If you know how to curl the feathers up, you just do it like paper or like that gift wrapping ribbon where you get the knife and it all curls up. You can actually curl your feathers up to make them curl up. And once again, a red satin flower with a diamante in the middle, and just with a bit of red lace. So that's another one of my dress forms. So this is going to be a long video. I'm not quite sure. I'm sort of rushing it because I'm sort of conscious of the time that you know, is spent on showing your products. Sometimes people will sort of split their videos into two. This is like is it the Marie Antoinette with the headless one? And there's just some flowers there. I did have actually buttons there, but with them in and out of the boxes they did come off because I had them glued. And we just have a chain there, just coming down. That rosette trim, so it's a different type of rosette trim. So once again, it's the paper mache dress form. Once again, it's been covered with paper napkins. I believe it's got Paris on there. The underskirt is just, you know when you get a dress and it has the lining or a skirt, that's all it is there, and it's already sewed down there. This was a top I actually loved, and it's velvet, and I used to love wearing it, and then it got too tight for me as I aged. We had middleweight spread, and I just sort of grouped it up and glued it, so then it sort of give it, you know, that tucked look. I'm not quite sure what you actually call it. Did some bows, just add some curtain material. Once again, the little rosette. So I've had to, you know, like sort of coordinate it, and that goes around, and just it flows at the back, so it just sits like that. And the bodice part is just from an old lace trim off at the top, and the jacket is like a bolero jacket. I just made the bolero jacket like that. So as you can see, it's the paper mache and the paper napkin, and the lace goes all the way around, and you can see some fine trim just going around, and I believe that's like the braid, the Chinese braid trim. And then just put a little dangle there. You know, the dangles are fairly easy to make. You know, if you've got jewellery supplies and you've got findings and, you know, sort of what do you call those? Jump rings. So that's this one. So I thought she turned out quite cute too. So there's that one there, and we have one more to go. Now this is an unusual one, and it's made with the MDF, the timber that I cut down into the dress form, but I actually created a longer form, and I used to be called the wallpaper guru because my paper stacks were wallpaper books. So I've made many different things out of wallpaper, and so I decided to make a wallpaper dress form. Now it is creased because it's been in and out the boxes, and so where will I start? I'll start at the feet. That's just got 3, and it was on a board, and I actually, when I made this, I thought you've got to have little tiny shoes, and I have made the shoes, so that may come up in a picture in a later video. So it's just once again a bit of lace just glued around the timber frame with some I Am Roses or Wild Orchid Craft leaves and the Gaperi lace. So as you can see, it's a timber dress form. And sorry about that, ladies, the camera just died on me, and yeah, no, there's plenty of battery in it. So as I was saying, just a dress form there, and there's a bit of the Gaperi lace there, and put the lace, you know, around the pleated part of the dress form, and so it's just decorating it. So on the back, I just put the Diamante trim, and to make it sort of like strapless off the shoulders, and continued around the bodice. Now I pleated the bodice part smaller to, you know, sort of be more, what's that word, aesthetics, you know, because you couldn't really have the pleats at the bodice. So, and it just did take a lot of work to try and pleat it, and there's more of the Gaperi lace around the waistline there, and some small I Am Roses all the way tucked right in. Okay, so, and just at the back, the Gaperi lace goes all the way right around. So, and this I got at the Dandenong markets in Victoria, Melbourne. So, and then just used a ribbon, and it's a very light grey. And on the side here is a white satin lace with the grey, just to complement the grey. There is a grey sort of leaf pattern in the wallpaper itself, and then just the feather at the top there. So I've just stuck it down the bodice, and it may not be a choker, but it sort of resembles a choker neck, whatever, with a flat back pearl. On the side there's just a cabochon there and just a dangle, and so, you know, I had fun making dangles, so my next step is to create some dangles for the journal covers, and it's just all broken down jewellery. You know, there's a button there, you know, there's part of an earring there with a butterfly, just some beading, a little hearts that said patience, and some just some trim. And here comes the rain. We've been getting a lot of rain the last couple of days, so yay, you know, I don't have to stand there watering my garden, you know, nature's doing it for me. So that's that one there, and you know, she turned out quite pretty, so I will, you know, be fixing it up and straightening the pleats out to, you know, give it a bit more of its original form. So, but yeah, so that's another one I've created, and my intention was to put the rods through there so you can hang jewellery on them, and I thought, no, I'll just leave them like that, you know, so people can actually, you know, put them in their room and have them for decoration. So I'm not quite sure what that little pot was. I better check into it. So there you go, ladies. That's all the dress forms. There's 2, 4, 7 of them, and so there's 6 dress forms, and like I said, you've got the pink cushions there. Now I have done several of these, and they're great sellers because they just sit on the desk, and you may need to hold it, you know, when you're putting your pin in. Well, not necessarily, I don't know, but you know, there's lots of areas there you can actually put the pins, you know. Just wrap your measuring tape around the waist if you need to, you know, just for aesthetic looks. So yeah, so just doilies, a sheet. So that's it for me. That's just part of my creativity in what I actually love to create, and there'll be more upcoming videos of previous projects that I've actually done. So till then, take care and thank you for watching, and stay blessed and stay safe. Thank you for watching.